Patch 2.5.0 notes. Starting off with a metagame snapshot, since we're updating quite a few cards in this patch, we felt like it was time for another metagame snapshot. We first explored the idea back in patch 1.14 to provide context for larger batches of card updates. Check it out for full context in our analysis methodology. The most important things to keep in mind are: snapshot data looks at decks used in Platinum, Diamond, and Masters across all 4 of Lore's regional shards. Only meta decks defined as 3% plus play rate or 50% plus win rate are represented in the play rates below, but win rates are based on all games played during the time period analyzed. The meta decks shown below are based off the 3% play rate definition, since they're decks you're most likely to encounter, but there are a number of high win rate, low play rate decks that inform our balanced decisions as well. Good. As a rule of thumb, 55% plus win rate and 15% plus play rate are our normal benchmarks for corrective balance, but we do make adjustments outside of those numbers. Here's how to read the deck summaries below. Regions, champions, most distinct unifying card advantage on average. Here's how to read the deck summaries below. Yes, region, champions, and most distinct unifying cards. Okay. Deck codes represent one of the most popular common examples of each meta deck. Decks marked with an asterisk are being affected by card nerfs in the patch. Alright, let's go through this one by one, boys. First things first, we have Lysandra Trundle with Spectral Matron. 51% win rate, pathetic. High play rate. Wow, that's the highest play rate deck in the game. Holy moly. I would have never thought that to be the case. There is something to consider here. This is not a very good indicator of how good the deck is, specifically because I think the Spectral Matron version is not easy to play. It's not easy to play optimally. So the fact that it's getting 51% is really, really good. That's a little bit scary because people misplay this heavily. The mulligan is very hard to go through. All right, and very high play rate. Next, Bilgewater, Piltover, and Zon, Twisted Fate plus Fizz. Stress testing. Now, this card is actually, in my opinion, what made Twisted Fate too strong. The reason being is you can do pick a card into draw blue card, and you only need one Rummage with stress testing to level them up. Because Rummage before used to be draw 2. It wasn't enough. Draw 3 with Rummage is insane. So, this makes absolute sense. 56% win rate. Extremely easy to play deck. And it has a much higher win rate if you play perfectly. Like, people are playing this really badly and still winning with it. Absolutely deserves a nerf. Good job, asterisk. Next on the list, Fiora Shen. Exact same win rate. Deserves a nerf. I believe so, yes. Next, Azir and Lucian. Okay. I think this deck is going to get stronger now. Zoe Aphelios. I actually prefer Zoe Karma, I gotta be honest. I prefer playing Zoe Karma. The crazy thing about this is, if this deck is not nerfed, you swap over Aphelios with Karma, and I think it's a better deck. Personally. Which is the crazy part. Only thing is, this actually ran Atrocity, so you have a bit of a different win con. Mono Fiora. Now, this deck I don't think needed a nerf, but it got nerfed because of the nerf that they needed to do for the Fiora Shen deck. It makes sense. So fine. Fair enough. Ashe Sejuani LeBlanc. 53% win rate. 4.1% play rate. Interesting. I don't care about this deck too much. Shadow Isles, Shurima, Nasus Kindred. I actually think Nasus is better without Kindred, personally. Bilgewater, Noxus, Misfortune, and Gangplank. This is Pirate Aggro. And, yeah. It's at a good spot. It's a pretty good deck. Renekton, Sejuani. Oh, so none of these got nerfed. Teemo, Draven, Jinx didn't get nerfed either. And we have Vladimir Braum, who did not get nerfed either. Perfect. This is good to see. I actually think this deck is going to be stronger now. I think this deck is going to... So, what I think is going to happen... Because look, where's Mono Fiora and Shen Fiora? Mono Fiora, standalone, was at a 4.5% play rate. And, Shen Fiora was at a 9.5% win rate. Because these play rates are going down a lot, I think that Burn Aggro, Teemo, Draven, Jinx is going to go up a lot. And this deck right here is actually pretty decent versus this deck. So I think this deck is going to get better due to this happening. It's going to be fun to see. I think this deck is going to get significantly better because it runs the 1 cost deal 1 damage to everything by quite a few times. So this deck might get a lot stronger. Its win rate, I think, is going to go up quite a bit. We'll have to wait and see, though. All right. The moment you all have been waiting for. The card updates. Champion! Double nerf on Twisted Fate. First of all, he has to see 9+ cards drawn. This is mostly because of the PNZ additional card we saw, Stress Testing. It's the reason why he went a bit out of control. Stress Testing just pushed him a little bit over the edge. That's a big deal. But I think it's a really good nerf. Twisted Fate's quest can be completed in an extremely short window of time. Considering his level 2 is usually completely game winning, we feel the need to increase the quest requirement slightly to broaden windows for interaction before he levels up. This is especially important for us to keep an eye on given both current and potential future content that involves card draw. Now, why did they not include the fact that they lower the cost of his champion spell here? Here it is. Pick a card has been changed as well. It now costs 2 mana and draws you 2 cards. That's the big deal here. That's a really big deal. Pick a card's power was both allowing significant lethal setups while also creating explosive card draw to turbo level Twisted Fate on round 5. We're still streamlining the effect to reduce the ceiling of this card. I think Twisted Fate's still a very good champion. The only decks this affects are Fizz TF and Turbo Maokai. That's about it. Generally speaking, Twisted Fate is still very, very, very good. His play effect, play a Destiny card, is an amazing effect. He's still a board clear, a stun removal, and a card draw, all in one. Believe it or not, I don't even think he needed to get nerfed. I think with the nerf that we're seeing to Burblefish was enough. But yeah, this guy is still great. He's still great. Alright. Next card, Fiora. 3-3 to 3-2. Holy crap, is that a big deal. Wow, that's a big nerf. That is a big nerf, dude. Fiora has a long history of going between breaking thresholds 1 week and then being totally fine the next given certain metagame shifts. Recently has been doing more of the former, giving Golden Aegis and Shurima's regional weaknesses against her. By reducing her health, we're giving decks with less interaction more ability to power through, and introducing much more risk and disruptability for Fiora's alternate win con. Very fair. All of a sudden, you can play 2 attack units into Fiora. Almost every 2 attack unit, 2 mana cost unit, has about 2 or 3 attack. When you played Fiora decks, you couldn't play your 2-1 draw card, for example. You could never play that on board. Why? Because she gets to remove it and survive it at 1 HP. Now, you can play a lot more units onto the board. This is a big deal. This is a huge deal. This is a huge nerf to Fiora. Fiora is dead to Mystic Shot. Agreed. No, wait, chat. 1 second.
Trash make happy.
Fiora's worst nightmare, bro. Oh no, dude. Fiora's worst nightmare has come true, dude. What has the world come to, chat? Oh no. What has the world come to? Where Fiora is no longer... I want you guys to envision something. Fiora queues into a match Turn 1.
Trash make happy.
Concede. Fiora's Kryptonite chat is now a 1-drop. Oh no. Fiora's Kryptonite is a 1-drop, dude. What do you do? It's a 1-1 now? No, brother. No. He got buffed. He got buffed in this patch, chat. He is now officially Fiora. Destroyer of Fioras. Oh no, dude. Yeah, the old Fiora could have killed 3 of these. The new Fiora can't kill a single one, dude. Next! Oh, I bet everyone loves this change. I can't imagine a world where a single person said, damn it, that change sucks. Everyone loves this change. Everyone wants Jarvan to be playable. Dude, it's not so much the 6 attack, it's the 4 HP, man. The 4 HP is such a big deal. Listen, I'm not saying he's gonna see play. But it's a big buff, chat. The buff is big. It puts him in a spot where we can experiment with him. So, very happy with this change. Not really much else to say. +1/+1, amazing. He can now remove the leveled up, what's his face, Trundle, which is kind of significant. Other than that, he can remove a leveled up Garen. There's a few things the 6 attack does, but the bigger deal is the 4 HP. All of a sudden, this guy doesn't die to get excited, for example. So, definitely a really good buff. Minus 1 HP on Fiora was, yeah. It's a big buff. We'll have to wait to see if to play him if he can, because the problem with Jarvan is not the fact that he's a weak card, it's he doesn't have a very good archetype to fit in. Like, you want him to be in an archetype that loves open attacking with Demacia, but you also spend all your mana into open attacking. Demacia is really big on combat tricks. Like, rarely does Demacia want to open attack with 0 mana. The entire idea is with Demacia, you open attack and you have barriers for combat tricks, you have single combats for combat tricks, you have buffs for combat tricks, and this goes against that rationale. So we'll have to consider where he could fit properly. I mean, is there a world this actually goes into, like, for example, a Mistwraith deck? Like Mistwraith splash Jarvan? Because Mistwraiths love open attacking, and Jarvan will always pull in the biggest attack unit, which means in a unit that can block Mistwraiths, so he's always pulling in the correct unit to let Mistwraiths hit face. Maybe something like that can be a possibility. Who knows? I'm just making stuff up here, but who knows? It might be possible. We'll have to wait and see. Shyvanna! But they lowered her stat. I know they gave her Fury, but they lowered her stat line, chat. Dragon Chow, yeah, Dragon Chow just brings her back to where she was. However, the lack of Fury has caused enough gameplay issues in her usability for us for... Yeah, but you gotta realize, now without Dragon Chow, when you attack with her, she doesn't have 5 attack anymore. She has 4 attack. Shyvanna's not a good blocker anymore. Like, 4 mana, 3 attack is atrociously a bad blocker, because by that point, you're facing a lot of 4 HP units that are attacking, and she can no longer prevent that unit from attacking. We can see this, for example, in... let's have a look here. Collection. Let's say, for example, you're playing on odds, right? So, your opponent drops any 3-drop. A lot of them have 4 HP that are very strong. Riven, as a champion, has 4 HP. Who else do we have? We have the Bear, which is the 3/4 here. Let me see. Esteemed Hierophant is not really a drop. That's not really a big deal, but... Let's see. That's not really a big deal. Badger Bear, Laurent is a big deal. We have... So it's not a huge amount. Parade Electro Rig is not really a big deal. So... As for the 3-drops, Reckless Trifarian does see play somewhat. We have this dude who sees play somewhat in some decks. So yeah, 3-drops more or less. But the fact remains, you still can't block a couple of the 3-drops, which is a big deal. But when we go to 4-drops, she can't kill anything anymore. She can't trade with Solari. She can't trade with... Not even close to trade with this now. She can't trade with, let's have a look here. Island Navigator. She can't trade with... It's a problem. Like, she can't trade well. Furthermore, now when you play her with a buff, she no longer can trade up with really strong units. Yeah, overall, this is just a really big problem. It's a big problem for her. Her blocking capability has been nerfed by a ton. Sure, she does have Fury. But she needs one Fury just to make her points, like, just to get her back to where she... I think this is more of a nerf than anything. It's a bit of a nerf. That's not even a buff, and she wasn't even that strong in the first place. When she attacks, though, yeah, she does get the 1-1 on attack, but she always got the 1-1. Before, she was a 5-5 when she attacked. Now she's a 4-5. Again, now she can get blocked by 5 HP units. It's a nerf. I'm underrating Fury. No, because she gets Fury when she levels up, and she levels up really fast anyway. She's not going to get 2 Fury procs before she levels, chat. She usually will have maybe 1 kill by the time she levels, because she gets her level up not from herself, but from other dragons as well. I think it's a bit of a nerf. I don't think they changed her much. I think it's a bit of a nerf, but I could be wrong. Let's keep looking. I don't know. I think this is just more of a... For future cases, they want her to have Fury. And they needed to nerf her attack a little bit because they feared she might be a bit too good. I disagree, but it's fine. Next is Lulu. She got an attack buff. She's 3 attack still. She's no longer 2 attack. I'm not sold that it was enough, but it's a step in the right direction. Like, when we played Lulu, I think it was 2 days ago or 3 days ago, my issue was that she was only 2 attack and she couldn't trade properly. Like, if I attack with her, she dies to stuff and doesn't kill it. 3 attack is significant.
And for Fiora, I feel she got over-nerfed. Only if they made her 4 cost 3-3 is way better, and in the same time this nerf will hurt Fiora Shen curve. 3-2 is too much. Your thoughts on this?
I think it was a pretty significant nerf as well. They had to give her 2.5 HP. And it's like Allegiance. Fiora Allegiance. Play Fiora. Allegiance gain 1 HP. Yep. That's what they should have done. They should have given Fiora Allegiance for that last 1 HP. If you miss Allegiance, it's a 3-2. If you hit Allegiance, it's a 3-3. Fixed. Chat. Am I not a genius? And then I can make YouTube vids of me missing Allegiance and Fiora. So everyone can laugh at me and say Grappler always misses Allegiance. That's what they should have done. Alright. We've already talked about pick a card. Somewhat, but let's talk about it as a card on its own. Significantly worse. Like, significantly worse. I don't even know if you can run this card on its own anymore. Alan said it's a buff. How is that a buff in any world? Compare this to Rummage, chat. No, it's not a 2-mana draw 2. Because you have to pick a card and put it back in your deck. You got a discard for Rummage? Well, you got a discard for this too. And it's 1 mana more expensive than Rummage. Rummage is immediate, exactly. Rummage just gives you the cards immediately. This is next round even. And and this is so bad, comparatively. 1 mana for 1 extra card is such a huge nerf. It's an insane nerf. This card sucks. It got nerfed heavily. If you think this is a buff, I gotta heavily disagree. Wiggly Burblefish. Oh boy. That just nerfs the archetype so much. Yikes. Alan says TFS is better now. He has to be trolling. That's a huge nerf. The crazy thing is, I don't even think the deck is trash. I think with a few changes, the deck is still decent. The idea behind the deck is good. Maybe you run like 1 more Mind Meld now and you focus more on Mind Meld being a win con. Like, Mind Meld might be more important now than it was before, but I still think the deck is playable. Does Alan say it's better now because I mean, how is this a buff? Let's think about this. Let's use Alan's logic. How is this a buff? So, basically, because it's only 2 attack, your opponent is going to keep it alive. They're not going to worry about it. Oh, it's a 2 attack unit. I can ignore it. And then you Mind Meld and win the game. Whereas before, when you played this, Insta-Vile Feast. People were so afraid of it, they instantly Vile Feasted, like, no, my Mind Meld. Now you drop a couple of these all 2 attack, like, they drop their 7-cost card that does -2 attack to everything, thinking the board is wiped, and then you drop Mind Meld on top. Boom, GG, game over. It's actually a pseudo buff, chat. It's actually a pseudo buff. They made it stronger due to its deceiving nature. Dreg Dredgers.
Stuff make happy.
I love this guy. I love his voice lines. Yes! Bring him back to where he deserves to be. I'm sorry, chat, but when they nerfed him to a 1-1, do you know why I was sad? I wasn't sad because he all of a sudden became less viable. I wasn't sad because now he's Fiora food. I wasn't sad of anything of that. Do you know why I was sad when they nerfed him to a 1-1? I don't think you guys know. It's because he eats trash for breakfast. He lives in a garbage dump.
I think Fizz Ezreal.
If this was to hit me in real life, I would get an infection so fast. I would get tetanus. I would die of a disease, chat. There's no way he does 1 damage. It breaks everything around his lore. He has to hit for 2 at least. It doesn't make logical sense. Somebody this dirty hitting you, you're taking more than 1 damage. You're at the very least going to the hospital to get like 20 vaccines. One attack made no sense. At no point did it make sense. Should be an 8-1, something like that. So back to 2 attack. Riot is on the right track. Good job, Riot. Dreadway. 8 cost 4-6. I really wish they didn't nerf his stat line. I want Dreadway to be playable, but the stat line, oh my god. Huge buff? It's a buff. It's definitely a buff. But the stat line is bad, my friends. 6 HP is so bad. Yeah, give him 4-7. Make him not die to double get excited, or, you know, there's so many ways to remove him. 6 HP with single combats is so easily removable. It's so bad of a stat line. It's the HP, chat. He could be a, make him a 3-8. I'd be happy, you know. Make him even a 2-8, and I'd be. 6 HP is so easy to remove. At mana 8, Jarvan kills it. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, they don't want Ladros into Dreadway. That's the only reason they changed this. I'm aware. Oh man, it's a shame they didn't drop Ladros onto 8, because I had so many cool combos I could have done if they nerfed it the other way around. I gotta think about something here. Is there an OP combo I can do with this? I feel like there might be some OP combo I'm not seeing. There's no 7-cost Last Breath units, unfortunately. And there's no way to go backwards. See, here's the thing. If they dropped Ladros down to 8,
Farron or Rex
you had
It's
kind of stupid, but you could have been able to do. You could have done Ladros into Gluttony to guarantee a Dreadway off the deck. That would have been so much fun. Like Gluttony into, but it doesn't matter. That's besides the point. I wish they would have done it the other way around. How do we abuse the fact that he costs 8? We can drop him down to a 5 cost. Does that do anything for us? No, nothing really does it for us. No. Unfortunate. Unfortunate. He's also one off from being able to do like Atrocity with him as well. The thing is, there's so many 8-drops in the game that you can't guarantee a Ladros shot. Farron into Dreadway would be gross. Why? You don't keep the body of Farron. Like, you play Farron, sure, you get a Decimate, but, like, this is an easy to remove body, and you're losing an 8-8 Overwhelm. I don't even think it's that gross. Plus, you can't even do that. You're not in the right colors for PNZ. How do you even get PNZ out of it? Oh yeah, you can get it. You can get it. That's true. Nah. It looks bad to me. You don't want to lose the 8-8 Overwhelm body. Like, Farron's body is an amazing body. You don't want to lose that. I disagree. We want to prevent concurrent timelines. Fine. Secondly, it gives a chance for us the opportunity to adjust Dreadway for more decks to be able to use it and Gangplank more effectively. Riptide Rex is also an 8 cost. They fight over the same turn. Not really playable. This is unfortunate. I'm not a fan of this. You can get Dreadway from Trundle's Pillar. I guess you could, yeah. I guess that's something you could do. And then just do double Overwhelm with Trundle. That's not horrible. That's not the worst thing in the world. I guess, but also, like, how many 8-drops are there in the game? There's a lot of 8-drops. There is, let's have a look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. There's 14. There's 14 8-drops. It's a low possibility play. Whereas 9-drops, you have way less. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 versus 14. Mind Splitter doesn't really do much because it doesn't stun anything. Tiana Pog. Well, then why are you... Yeah. It's very meh. Anyway. So, yeah, basically this is just a nerf to Dreadway Ledgerous combo, and this guy's gonna still be very weak. And he's even worse now in Anivia Dreadway. The deck I used to play, Anivia Dreadway. It's a shame. Just a lot weaker than before. Shadow Assassin buff. Alright. Shadow Assassin is a 2-1 all of a sudden. How big of a buff is that? I don't even see it as much of a buff. Like, it's a buff more for aggro. It's not really a buff for the decks I play Shadow Assassin in. I guess it trades a little bit better. It can no longer be Fiora food. Like, the biggest thing about this, I think, is the fact that before, you couldn't play Shadow Assassin into a Fiora deck, and now you can. That's kind of silly. So, that's pretty good. Can block Zap now? Yeah, I guess. It's a lot better, yeah. It's definitely a buff. I'll give it that. Definitely a lot better than what it was. But the big buff for this is the fact that it can go back to being aggro. This can go back to aggro elusive decks. I'm imagining Swim went like this. He was scrolling through. Yippee! You know, that's what I expect. Like a very, very happy Teemo reaction with his Teemo hat on. I think Swim was very happy when he saw this. All of his dreams became realities. That's what I'm imagining. So this is the elusive aggro deck player's dream. He did. Oh, did he? I bet he would. I bet he would. Yeah, this is a big deal for aggro. Alan was happy as well. Yeah, because Alan plays control like I do, and we both know that we want to play this in our Karma decks. All right, Fey Guide. A lot better. A lot better. That's a big deal. 3-4 stat line is so much better than 3-3. That's a big buff to this card. Will it see play? All of a sudden with Zed, still bad. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Be careful. 4 health. Like, the problem with this was you play this on 4 and you have a worthless 3-3 on the board. 3-4 is not great stats for a 4-drop, but 3-4 is good stats compared to 3-3. Like, the difference between 3-4 and 3-3 is miles. Miles of difference. He insta-trashed it. No, this is a big deal. This can start trading with stuff. This can block Zed. This can block Fiora without dying. This can block a lot of 3-attack units without dying. Big deal here. Will he see play? Maybe not, but it's time that we can actually experiment with this. Blocks Shyvanna, yeah. Sure. Big deal for a 4-drop. No longer dies to Calibrum. Doesn't die to removal anymore. Needs 2 spells to kill it, exactly. So, don't underestimate this buff. The reason he sucked before was because he literally just... He's not a good blocker. He's not a good unit. You lose a lot of tempo. This can give you a 2-for-1 trade. Playing versus aggro, you can block 2 units instead of 1 unit a lot of the time. Legion Rearguard. What a buff to a deck that I already think is going to be doing better this expansion. Because if we go up, I was talking about the nerf to Fiora and Fiora Shen, and the nerf to a lot of these tier 1 decks might be pushing PNZ aggro back to be stronger. Dude, Legion Rearguard is back. Like, that's a big buff. That's a big buff. Same stats as Fiora. That's a big deal. That's awesome. No longer dies to Gohard, although Gohard's not really a big thing in the meta at the moment. Doesn't die to Vile Feast is gigantic. Doesn't die to the 1 damage AoE spells like Withering Wail is gigantic. There's a lot of things this is really good against all of a sudden, so that's a problem. And trades with every single 1-drop in the game, so fan-freaking-tastic. This might push PNZ to be a tier S deck again. Just this one change might be enough. Wow. That's scary. All right. Sea Scarab. Holy crap! Holy mother of God! The buff. That's so strong. This with dredgers, not just deep, but we're talking about like turbo mill with Maokai and whatever. Like there's some really cool options. That's a big deal. Like with Dreg Dredgers, we think Deep's early game could use a boost. We wanted to respond to feedback by both making it less detrimental when generated, reverberating Deep strategies. I think this is going to see play in Maokai Turbo Mill. Ooh, that deck might actually become close to tier 1 with this big change. Yeah, Deep has issues, but this is a big deal. Like Deep's biggest issues is the amount of Obliterate there is in Targon, with the versatility that Targon delivers, as well as Lee Sin. But this is fantastic. This is really cool. It's a bit of a scary change. I don't like playing versus Deep, and the double Deep buff is a bit scary, but hey, we'll have to wait and see. Kills Fiora. Chat, what doesn't kill Fiora at this point? Is there any unit that actually sees play? Literally Omen Hawk doesn't kill Fiora, and that's about it. I think Omen Hawk's the only unit in the game at the moment that doesn't kill Fiora. Tito? Dude, by the time Fiora drops on 3, Tito's already played 3 mushrooms and levels up. Tito's a 2-2. Tito kills Fiora already. Like, Tito already kills Fiora. There's no question. Pool Shark? Man, I don't know, maybe. Silly. Alright. Esteemed Hierophant. From 2 to 3. Meh. I still think your condition is going to be leveling up 2 champions. I'm not seeing it. I don't think it makes a big difference. The deck archetype is not strong enough to ever be able to include a 3 mana does nothing. I mean, the stats are good. Maybe. I don't know. Like, it does the exact same thing, doesn't it? We need more countdown acceleration other than just 1 unit to be able to make this worthwhile. Alright. Callous Bonecrusher. Wow. That's a big change. I actually experimented with this card a bit. Not with you guys, but when the beta first came down, like when the streamers were allowed to practice on their own, I tried adding this card. And it was just missing that 1 HP. This is actually playable, I think, in a reputation deck. Kill Libram? Yeah, it doesn't kill it. A lot of things don't kill it. Like, this is actually playable. Isn't it already good at 4 mana? It's not bad at 4 mana. Like, you would never add it as a 4 mana 6/4, but you add it because of reputation. This is solid. Stats profile is too off for serious consideration. We're making this change to help in expeditions, potentially see more niche normal. I think this is not exactly correct. I think this might see play. It doesn't have Overwhelm, but if you're adding in a deck that runs things like Might, that's a big deal. Why? Because both your champions in Reputation want Might. Neither one has Might. Sivir wants Might. LeBlanc wants Might. So if you're playing it in Noxus, which you already are doing, guaranteed, this is a very good Might target at 2 mana. And you have all the spell mana to give it Might. And oh yeah, this might see play. I might make a deck with this. I might revisit my LeBlanc Sivir deck. Has good draw and Might. The card is... I think this card might see more... Potentially see more niche normal. I don't even think... I think it might see actual play in good decks. Alright. What is the wording on Aphelios? They cost 1 less, so they don't cost 1. That's a problem. If Aphelios' level up said his spells cost 1, it would be a lot better. That hurts so much. Our initial goal for moon weapons would be slightly better than collectible cards of the same cost, similar to Celestials. However, the ability to phase and recreate weapons was too easily achievable. We're moving Aphelios' weapons to cost 3 to lower their efficiency. I don't like this. What they should have done is increase phase to like 3 cards instead of 2. I think they should have made phasing harder. At least that way you give Aphelios a chance to be decent mid-game, not just early game. But increasing the cost is a problem. Yeah, they should have nerfed them differently. I don't like the change to 3. Now every one of these spells is overcosted. 3 mana deal 3 to follower sucks. 3 mana this buff sucks. 3 mana Gravitum is meh. 3 mana this buff is... It's not good, guys. It's not good. Make them all fast and we can talk about increasing the mana cost, but the fact that they're slow, it's not a good look for Aphelios, my friends. Alright, let's keep going. They made this cost 1. You know, funny enough, now all of a sudden, maybe you're just going to play this card in your deck and not Aphelios. Like, you might play this in non-Aphelios decks just to have some versatility if you need healing, if you need a big stun like Ravidum, but that's a good play. Gifts from Beyond is not horrible as a card on its own. Veiled Temple. It doesn't give 1/1, it gives 1/0. A much needed change. I think this was a bit too useful. I think it's a good change. I like that this card exists. I like that a card that gives you mana value exists in the game. Plus, it gives you something on top of that. These are my favorite kinds of cards. Like, honestly, this is one of my favorite card types. Something that gives you mana advantage long term, and the longer you have it on board, the bigger advantage you get. But it was a bit too strong giving HP, because it makes every one of your blockers impossible to kill. So, very good. I'm very happy with the change. Deserved. It has to be 0/1. I like it. We've talked... While we have liked to see some of our newer landmarks having a legitimate competitive power, the Veiled Temple can snowball games in multiple directions. We're removing the health buff from its trigger to allow players to attack or otherwise remove buff units. It might go down the same road. Thank you for the Raoul, boys! Yeah, necessary. Alright. That said, let's look at the labs updates. We have... Lab of Legends updated. Okay. Ultra Rapid Draw. That sounds fun. United Front PvP. So what do we have here? Everything is looking a little bit quicker than usual. Ultra Rapid Draw is now a spin on Quick Draw with more random cards, more mana, and everything moving at a rapid pace. Also a few more golden spatulas and manatee statues around than there are usually. We have champions. Talia and Azir have joined the Lab of Legends lineup, each with their own unlockable icons for completing a run. Difficulty. Ooh, I like this. I do like this. I love adding difficulty tiers to labs. That sounds like fun, dude. An actual challenge, an actual reason to play labs. As long as they make a legendary very difficult, please. Reward rerolls. Don't like the rewards. Toss them out for a new batch. You only have 3 rolls for each run, though, so use them with care. Interesting. Run results, share your glorious victories with new summaries added at the end of run. Okay. Personalization, a new board. We know we're insta-buying this. Let's go for it. Insta-buying this board. No questions asked. Planet URF. For legends who know pyrotechnics are the key to victory. Nice. Why does it sound like a dog's bark? How do you pronounce it? URF, 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 URF. Is that how you would pronounce it, chat? It sounds like a dog's bark. Maybe I'm wrong. Anyway. Ruff, 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 ruff. Anyway, we have a new Guardian. He's looking pretty swaggy. It's a dude eating a fish. Okay, I'll take that. It's a sea cow eating a fish. And we have a new card back. It's pretty pretty big, pretty strong. All right. And an emote. Nice flex. I'm actually going to use this emote. This is going to be one of my main emotes. Not even kidding. Double bicep, I like it. And we have the bundle to buy them all. So we're just going to buy the bundle. Miscellaneous. Tallies level 1 and 2 have been updated. Sweet. Effects on strike, cost increase, and cost reductions effects have been improved. Okay. Added an on-off toggle for prismatic card styles. Good. Standard and singleton formats have been removed from gauntlets. All gauntlets have been updated to best of 3 format. Okay. And maximum number of prime glories from 5 to 4. Wow, that's very interesting. Is the camera angle? He's secretly 5'2". Impossible. Impossible. Look at the size. Do you think I like buy miniature mugs? Is that what you guys think? Just to make myself look bigger? Do you think this was bought saying, "Excuse me, Mr. Supermarket Man. I'm looking for small cups." No, really small cups. Is that what you guys think happens in my day-to-day life? That I try to find ways to scam you guys to thinking I'm tall when I'm actually miniature and tiny? Is the man who hasn't tried coffee? How was it?